Welcome back, survivors. I'm glad you could join us tonight. If you're enjoying these stories, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like to help boost the signal. And as always, drop a comment with your city or country. I love seeing where you're all listening from. I wake before sunrise, long before the light touches the crown of the pines, and lie still while the tower breathes around me. The timbers expand with the night's leftover cold. The guy wires sing when the first wind lifts off the valley. The cab windows wear a skin of dew. Far below, the forest holds its breath. Up here, 20 meters above a carpet of needles and fog, I pretend I am the last unbroken thing left standing. Routine first, always routine. I check the water jugs, tilt the blue plastic against the lantern glow, watch the meniscus crawl, calculate the weight in my hands and in my future. 3 jugs a third each. 7 days if I sip and pray for rain. 5 if the heat returns. 2 if the radio lies to me again. I count the cans lined along the shelf, labels scuffed to anonymity, beans, chili, peaches, saltines going stale in their tin coffin. I log it all in the spiral notebook, day number, cloud cover, wind direction, 1 line for hope, 2 lines for lies. When the sun edges over the ridge, the tower fills with gold. Dust motes turn to ash and embers in the light, and for a heartbeat I see a fire line where there is only air. The Osborne firefinder waits at the center like a quiet oracle, circle of degrees, wiry sighting alidade, map scarred with fingerprints from summers that had different kinds of emergencies. I turn it out of habit, scan the compass, pick a tree line at 310, confirm that the smoke I think I see is not smoke at all, just dawn burning off the last scraps of night. The radio is a box of ghosts. I wind the hand crank until my wrist aches. Watch the charge bar sputter toward usefulness. Press the push to talk and try not to breathe too loud. Tower 7 to anyone with ears. Repeat. Tower 7, anyone receiving. The forest answers with static, soft as distant rain, then hard as gravel in a blender. Sometimes I get syllables, half words that could be help or could be weather. Sometimes I swear the static shapes itself around my name, then dissolves before I can be sure it ever happened. The last real voice was 6 days ago, a clipped transmission that mentioned a perimeter, mentioned holding until dusk, then nothing but a squall of white noise and an empty channel that tasted like metal. I eat a quarter can of peaches for breakfast and drink the syrup because sugar is fast courage. I stretch the leg I tore on the ladder last week, raise, lower, curse, accept. I inventory the flares, the nails, the wire, the bear spray that used to be a joke when bears were the only question. I check the hatch, hinges greased, padlock ready. Hole for a crossbar drilled through the joists because thinking ahead is what passes for mercy. I oil the rifle I promised myself I would never need. I pretend there are enough bullets. The first infected I ever saw from this height did not look like a monster. Just a person out for a dawn hike in clothes that did not match the weather. 1 sleeve ripped to the shoulder. Bare feet black with soil. The wrongness arrived in the gate, too quick, then too slow, like pain had been replaced by some other algorithm. I followed it through the scope until the trees reclaimed it. That afternoon I found a buck tangled in the wire fence east of the tower, ripped thin along the haunch as if claws had searched for purchase where no claws belonged. The flies made their case. I learned what a day without wind smells like. I keep a separate page for noises. Not because I am proud, because remembering is cheaper than guessing. Noon, 1 gull circling from the reservoir, lost or stubborn. 13:30, branch crack at base of south post, no visual. 1500, something knocks the ladder with a sound like a loose rung, then silence while my spine turns to ice. 1710, 2 crows chase a shadow that refuses to be a hawk. Midnight, tapping that is not rain and will not repeat while I am awake enough to catch it. At dusk the forest opens its 1,000 eyes. The air cools. The mosquitoes arrive like confetti from a party I was not invited to. The smell of creosote from the tower legs comes up through the hatch. I sit cross-legged on the floor with the map spread beneath my palm and draw lines that do not exist, escape routes that the underbrush will swallow, clearings that the rot will swallow, old fire roads I have not walked in months because walking alone is a dare written in teeth. I trace a route to the ranger cabin 2 kilometers northeast, the one with the broken window and the locked metal trunk beneath the cot. If the water runs lower, If the radio keeps lying, if the clouds crouch and refuse to bleed, then tomorrow I climb down and run in daylight and try to be a single shadow among millions. When the light goes thin, I take the binoculars and make a last slow sweep. The valley is a quilt of spruce and fir sown with rivers that remember their own names. A fox threads the service road at the base, red needle in a green haystack, perfect and absurd and alive because no one told it not to be. Farther, near the boundary line where the old burned scar keeps the trees honest, I see a man standing between two stumps. He faces the tower. He does not move. I mark him at bearing 216, estimate distance, 400 meters, maybe 5, hard to judge in the gloaming. I keep the glass on him until my wrists tremble. He never blinks. When I look away to wipe my eyes, he is gone. When I put the glass back, there is only a snag stripped pale by lightning. Night eats the colors. The cab windows turn to mirrors. My face looks older than it did yesterday, angles sharper, eyes running the perimeter of the glass as if our reflections could be breached. I kill the lantern and let the stars announce themselves, 1:15, then whole constellations that cannot be rationed and cannot be kept. The Milky Way is a bluff called across the table of the sky. For a few minutes I pretend the world below is only asleep. It never lasts. Somewhere off the north ridge a sound drags across bark, long, deliberate, like a knife asking a tree to confess. I freeze, count, listen. Another scrape, closer, followed by the quick staccato of feet too light to be a deer and too many to be a man. I move to the hatch, lean with my back against it, feel the breath of the day trapped in the stairwell rise up around my ankles. The radio hisses to itself, not words, just the idea of speech, just enough to make the hair along my arms prick into attention. I whisper Tower 7 to anyone still counting, north line movement, no visual, and let go of the button because hearing my own voice disassemble in the static is worse than silence. I count time by the seconds I can hold my breath. By the 17th count the sounds drift away. By the 34th count I realize I am shaking, and that my palms have left sweat on the hatch hinges. By the 83rd I decide that courage is a change of subject and open the notebook to write down what I would rather forget. I press hard enough to tear the paper. The moon climbs, thin and bureaucratic, issuing pale permits to things that survive by paperwork and luck. Down in the treeline something white flickers and is gone. The air tilts and the tower sways a finger's width, enough to remind me that even the ground can change its mind. I chew a single cracker into dust and chase it with 2 fingers of warm water and decide this counts as dinner if tomorrow happens. When sleep finally comes, it arrives like a thief, slow fingers at the edge of the cot, no weight at first, then all at once. I dream the ladder keeps going past the ground, down through the humus and root mat, past stones that remember glaciers, into a night so black light gives up and becomes sound. I climb until my calves burn, until the rungs turn slick, until a hand takes my ankle and squeezes in a way no hand should. I wake with my mouth open around a shout I do not let escape. The cab is a box of glass and breath. The lantern is a cold moon at my feet. The radio hisses. This time the hiss carries structure, ragged and thin, threading itself into a voice that might be a stranger and might be a friend I have not met yet. Hold your position, hold, do not descend, repeat, do not descend. The words fracture, heal, fracture again, smear into a growl, vanish. I sit up so fast the cot legs squeal. The hatch breathes against my knees. The wind veers, fir needles hush, an owl wonders out loud if I am a mouse. In the valley something moves against the moonlit canopy, many somethings, tide of dark shapes pooling around the base of the tower, too quiet, too intentional. They do not howl. They do not call to one another. They stand. They tilt their faces up as one. I kill the lantern and lie on my stomach and watch through the slit between floorboard and sill. The night is a bowl, and I am a drop of oil clinging to its lip. The shapes settle, then ripple, then settle again. One lifts an arm, not quite a wave, not quite a reach. The hand closes around the first rung of the ladder and stays there, still as frost, just long enough to teach me the shape of my fear. Dawn is far. The water is low. The radio has remembered how to speak only to forget again. I press my forehead to the plank until the wood remembers my name. I breathe through my teeth. I listen to the forest decide. The forest holds the night like a secret, dense, silent, pregnant with the sound of nothing that means everything. I do not move. I do not blink. My body aches from stillness, but fear is heavier than fatigue. Beneath the tower, the infected wait, dark silhouettes among the trees, faces tilted skyward, limbs frozen around the first rungs of the ladder. They are statues until they are not, yet still they do not climb. Not yet. When the first bruise of dawn smears across the horizon, the shapes dissolve back into the treeline. They bleed into bark and shadow until I can no longer count them. My chest loosens a fraction. I tell myself they will not return, but I know better. I stand slowly, legs trembling like a sapling in a storm, and turn toward the radio. The hiss is alive again, threads of sound weaving and unraveling like half-forgotten words. I twist the dial, coaxing, begging, until a fragment breaks through. Hold your position, cracked by static, do not descend, warped by distortion. Then silence again, so absolute I hear my own pulse ricochet in my ears. I slam the heel of my palm against the casing until my hand throbs. The machine rattles, but refuses to confess. I grab the notebook, scrawl the words in slanted fury. Voice again, early hours, directive clear, do not descend. Whose voice, who still transmits? How far? Questions spiral into the margins. Hunger drives me to crack a can of beans for breakfast. The metal resists like it knows I should save it. I eat cold mouthfuls by lantern light, chew slow, count bites as if mathematics could manufacture satisfaction. I sip water so sparingly the swallow sticks halfway down my throat. The jug grows lighter, my body grows heavier. The day stretches into a ritual of paranoia. I scan the treeline through binoculars every hour, log any movement, pretend to know the difference between real and imagined. At noon I see them again. Two figures slip through the underbrush, jerky, unnatural, yet deliberate. They vanish before I can breathe out the number 2. At 1300 I hear a knock against the ladder again, measured, patient. I grip the rifle until the stock prints into my palm. I do not fire. Noise is currency I cannot afford. By late afternoon clouds boil above the ridges. Their bellies sag heavy with rain that refuses to fall. I stretch tarps across the roof gutters, lash empty jugs beneath the downspouts, pray the sky remembers mercy. Lightning forks in the distance, thunder smothers the valley, but the clouds pass without spilling. My throat cracks with laughter that is not amusement. When night folds over the tower, I brace myself with coffee grounds chewed dry. The bitterness scrapes my tongue, keeps my eyes wide. I sit cross-legged before the radio, like a monk at the altar of ghosts, and wait. Hours grind by, static hisses its monotone sermon. Then faint, threadbare, a voice again. Not the clipped command from before. Softer, broken, like a confession carried by storm winds. Words fracture, but I catch pieces. North sector, breach, fire on perimeter, hold until, then only static drowning everything. I lean closer, forehead almost pressed to the speaker, until the cab hums with feedback. The voice flickers once more, this time clearer. Run, do not trust, then gone. I stagger back, heart thrashing like a trapped bird. 2 messages. 2 contradictions. Hold your position. Run. Which one is truth, and which a trap? Sleep ambushes me near dawn despite my resistance. I dream I am on the ladder, halfway between sky and earth, infected climbing below, storm breaking above. A hand grabs my ankle. I wake with a strangled gasp, cheek stuck to the map spread beneath me. My body stinks of sweat and fear. Morning bleeds pale through the windows. The forest wears a mask of fog, white shrouds clinging to every branch. Visibility is less than 20 meters. Perfect cover for anyone, or anything moving below. I force myself to peer out through the binocular slit. At first, nothing but gray curtains. Then a ripple in the mist. A figure again, closer this time, still watching. I whisper to the empty cab, as if confessing to the dead. They are learning. They are waiting. They are patient. The radio chooses that moment to crackle alive, burst of sound sharp as glass in a quiet room. The voice is urgent, compressed, like someone whispering through clenched teeth. Tower 7 copy, repeat. Tower 7 copy. My throat is sandpaper, but I manage to press the button. Copy, Tower 7 receiving. Identify, over. Static replies, then fragments. Evacuation, staging point East Ridge, coordinates follow, then swallowed again. I curse, pound the dial, scream into the static until my voice shreds. No coordinates come. For the rest of the day I cling to the words like driftwood. East Ridge. Evacuation. Could be salvation, could be slaughter. I do not know. As dusk drowns the forest, once more I mark the location on my map. Draw a shaky circle. Write East Ridge with hands that will not steady. I tell myself I will decide tomorrow. Not tonight. Because tonight, the shapes have returned. More of them. Dozens now, arranged at the base of the tower in silent congregation. Their faces tilt upward, eyes white in the moonlight. One hand closes on the rung, another. The first infected begins to climb. The sound is faint at first, metal rasping against calloused skin, claws scratching steel like nails on glass. My body locks in place. I do not breathe. I do not move. I only listen. The infected at the base of the tower are shifting, pressing closer, silent except for that scrape. One has begun the climb. Its hands grope for the first rung. Its foot drags onto the second. Its body sways unsteady but determined. The rest remain below, heads tilted, watching. Not moving, only watching. I grip the rifle. My palms are wet. My finger hovers above the trigger, but does not squeeze. One shot will bring echoes rolling through the forest, announce my location to every survivor or monster within miles. Still, if I do nothing, the infected will reach me. The creature drags itself rung by rung, each pull steadier than the last. Its head jerks upward, mouth slack, eyes wide as if seeing nothing yet fixed on me. Its chest heaves with wet rasps. It climbs like it remembers what climbing is. I shuffle back from the hatch, heart pounding like a drum. I whisper to myself, steady, wait. My hand finds the wrench I left near the toolbox. Metal, silent, deadly at close range. The infected's hands slap against the hatch frame, fingers curling through the gap. I slam the wrench down, bone cracks beneath the blow, knuckles splinter like twigs. The hand slips. A shriek rips from its throat, half human, half animal. Others below respond with low groans. It does not fall. It climbs again, other hand seizing the rung, dragging its ruined body upward. Its head bursts through the hatch gap, jaw snapping, spit spraying. I swing again, once, twice, until the skull caves with a sound like rotten fruit splitting. The body jerks, then tumbles. Silence. For a moment only silence. Then movement. Another infected lurches forward to the ladder. Then another. Their hands grope steel. They test rungs, pull, slip, fall, yet keep returning. Again and again. Like children learning, like predators practicing. I slam the hatch shut, drop the iron bar across it, press my weight against the wood. My breath rasps loud in the small cab. My pulse will not slow. I wait for the banging of fists, wait for the ladder to shake. But nothing comes. Hours crawl past, night thinning toward gray dawn. When I finally look out, the ground is bare. Empty. The infected have gone. Except they have not. I know they are close, hidden in the trees, waiting for the next attempt. I scribble in the logbook with shaking hands. First climb attempted. Success partial. They learn. They adapt. They will return. My handwriting looks like a stranger's. The day drags. Hunger gnaws, throat burns dry, eyes ache from scanning the forest. Twice I see movement at the tree-line, shadows shifting between trunks, but when I blink they are gone. The radio hisses all afternoon. I twist the dial until my fingers blister. Once, just once, I hear a voice cut through. Hold until extraction. Tower 7. Not long. Then static swallows it whole. Not long. The words echo like a curse. Not long until what? Rescue or death. At dusk I force myself down the hatch with a coil of rope. Every nerve screams against it. I descend 5 meters, 6, hands clamped white around the rail. I tie the water jugs to the gutter lines, hoping for rain tonight. My eyes dart into the trees, every shape a threat, every branch a limb. I climb back up before my courage rots entirely. Night falls heavy. No stars. No moon. Only blackness pressed tight around the tower. The first groan rises at midnight. Deep, wet, hungry. Then another, then more, until a chorus surrounds me. Shapes emerge from the dark. Dozens again. Maybe more. They cluster at the base, hands reaching, faces tilted. One steps forward, slowly, deliberately placing foot to rung. Then another follows, and another. This time they do not fall. This time they climb together. I slam the hatch and brace it with everything I have. The metal groans under their weight, rattling through the structure. Bolts shriek. Wood splinters. My breath tears ragged from my chest. Bang, bang, bang. Hands slam against the hatch, fists hammering, teeth gnashing. I scream, wordless animal sound, swing the wrench at the wood as if that could drive them back. The whole tower shudders like a ship in a storm. Then silence. Just as sudden as it began, the assault stops. I wait, ears ringing, lungs burning, until the groans fade into the night. When I finally lift the bar and peer through the gap, the ladder is empty again. But I know, they will be back. Stronger, smarter, hungrier. I collapse against the wall, wrench slipping from my hands. My body trembles uncontrollably. My mind claws for reason, but finds none. Somewhere far off, a wolf howls. Somewhere closer, the forest creaks with weight it should not bear. I curl on the floor, whisper the word like a prayer. Survive. 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 The rain comes with no warning, thick sheets drumming the tin roof, howling wind shaking the tower like a child's toy. I bolt upright from a restless half-sleep, the kind that never restores, just drags you deeper into fatigue. Water leaks through seams in the roof, cold rivulets crawling across the floor. My food stores sit in the corner, cans stacked neatly, now spotted with wet patches that will soon turn to rust. Thunder splits the sky. Lightning follows, white fire flashing over the trees. And in that single instant I see them. Figures below, dozens, maybe more, spread across the clearing like chess pieces. The light freezes them in place, arms lifted, faces turned upward. Their eyes glow pale in the stormlight. Then the darkness swallows them again, like they were never there. I force myself to breathe, slow, measured, but my chest still heaves. My hands find the radio, knuckles knocking against it like a nervous tick. I twist the dial, static, static, always static. Then briefly a voice. Don't let them reach the tower. A whisper drowned in crackle. Then gone. The hatch beneath me rattles once, twice. My gut lurches. I grab the iron bar, slam it down over the wood, press my body against it. Then silence. Then the faint scrape, steel on steel. A hand on the ladder. I move to the window, peer down through rain. Lightning again, reveals one infected halfway up already. Its limbs drag heavy but steady. It does not falter. It does not fall. My pulse slams. My rifle leans in the corner. I grab it, raise it, aim through the slit of glass. The scope fogs instantly in the rain and mist. Still I see enough, an eyeless face, skin peeled by fungus, jaw swinging loose. Bang! The shot echoes across the valley. The infected jerks back, head snapping, then drops, limbs twisting as it crashes to earth. The others below scatter for a heartbeat, like startled animals, then reform. Their heads lift again, watching, waiting. I curse myself. One shot. Just one. But in this dead world, one shot might be heard for miles. The storm rages on. The infected remain. They do not climb again. Not tonight. They linger, circling, shuffling, never leaving the base. Their patience is worse than their hunger. By dawn the rain fades, leaving steam rising from the drenched forest. I check my supplies. 3 cans left, half jug of water. Not enough. My leg aches from crouching all night. My hands shake from exhaustion. I tell myself I have to climb down today. The risk is suicide, but the alternative is slower suicide. I strap on my pack, tie rope around my waist, loop it to the railing. Rifle slung, knife at my belt. Each step down the ladder feels like stepping into a grave. The clearing is empty. The infected gone. But I do not believe it. At the base I move fast, crouching low, scanning trees. The ranger's cabin lies half a mile east. I remember its shelves, emergency rations, tools, maybe water. I sprint, ignoring the burn in my lungs. The forest swallows me whole. Every tree a sentinel, every shadow a shape. Birds scatter as I crash through undergrowth. My boots sink in mud, leaves slap my face. The cabin appears, gray wood leaning, roof sagging. I shove the door open, rifle ready. The smell of damp and mildew. Shelves bare. Cupboard's empty. Scavenged already. I slam my fist against the wall, rage choking me. Then movement. From the corner, something shifts. A shape huddled in shadow. I aim the rifle, hands trembling. A raccoon bolts through a hole in the floorboards, startling me so hard I nearly fire. My laugh comes broken, half sob, half hysterical release. I grab what little remains, 2 cans of beans, moldy blanket, box of nails. Pathetic haul for such risk, but enough to stretch life one more day. On the way back I hear them. Not ahead, not behind, but all around. Soft dragging footsteps, branches cracking, low groans weaving through the trees. My body goes cold. I run. Branches whip my face, mud pulls my boots, lungs scream. I see the tower ahead, its steel legs like a monument. My salvation, my prison. The ladder looms. I throw myself onto it, scrambling upward 2 rungs at a time. Below, figures emerge from the tree line, faces blank, limbs jerking, closing fast. Dozens. Too many. My muscles burn. I climb anyway. At 20 feet my foot slips on wet steel. I nearly fall. My hand grips, so hard skin peels from my palm. I keep going. At the hatch I slam it shut, drop the bar, collapse onto the floor, gasping. Below, they gather again. This time closer than ever, hands brushing the lower rungs, eyes locked on me. The silence between their groans is unbearable. Hours pass. They do not leave. Night falls again, stormless but heavy with dread. My body aches, my head throbs from dehydration. I crouch at the hatch, ear pressed to the wood. I hear the faint scrape again, one hand, then another. The infected are climbing once more. And this time I know they will not stop until they reach me. The forest is too quiet. I wake with a start, the kind where your lungs forget how to breathe, heart hammering like it wants out of your ribs. I press my ear to the floorboards, hear them, soft scraping on the metal legs of the tower. A faint rattle as weight shifts on the ladder. Not climbing yet, not fully, but testing. Testing me. I crawl to the hatch, slide the bar into place tighter. My hands shake as I do it, skin raw from clutching iron all night. I whisper to myself, over and over, hold, hold, hold. Like the tower might listen. Like wood and steel might have mercy. When dawn creeps over the treetops, the infected are still there. Not scattered now, but gathered close, pressed in around the legs like worshippers at an altar. Heads tilted up, eyes empty, mouths slack. The silence is worse than the groaning. No noise, no movement, just waiting. I ration what little I have. A half can of beans. 3 gulps of water. My stomach twists, cramps tearing through me. The hunger is a living thing, gnawing, chewing its way inside. I pace the floor of the tower, 5 steps one way, 5 steps back. Any more, and the whole structure sways. I try the radio. Static, hissing, broken fragments. A laugh maybe, a scream, then gone. I slam the side of the set, nearly hurl it off the tower. But then I remember, it is the only voice I have left. I can't let it go. The day drags. The infected don't move. Noon sun beats on their skin, fungal patches steaming. They don't care. Some sway in the heat, others kneel, hands clawing soil like they forgot how to stand. But they never leave. Their faces tilled up always watching. By evening my throat is raw from thirst. I whisper names from my old life, my parents, friends, Ellie Martin. Names are like stones in the mouth. Heavy, grinding, pointless. None of them can hear me now. That night the silence breaks. A thump against the hatch. Then another. My body stiffens. I press my palms down on the wood. A vibration passes through, rhythmic, like fists pounding. They are trying. Not scratching, pushing. Coordinated. I scramble to the corner, grab the rifle, point it at the hatch. Sweat drips down my temples. The pounding continues, steady, calculated. Then it stops. Silence again. I wait, seconds stretching into hours. My eyes sting. I must have fallen asleep because the next thing I know it's dawn, pale light filtering through gray mist. The hatch is still sealed. But when I look down through the gaps in the floorboards, my blood runs cold. The infected are climbing. Not one this time, but several. Hands gripping steel, legs twisting awkwardly, dragging themselves rung by rung. Some slip and fall, but others replace them instantly. A conveyor belt of hunger. I crawl to the railing, grab a wrench, hurl it down. It cracks one on the skull, sending it tumbling. The others don't react. They just keep climbing. I throw everything I can, tools, empty cans, my last pair of boots. One by one they knock climbers free, but more always take their place. My breath comes ragged. My vision swims. They are learning. Hours bleed together. I stop keeping track. At some point I hear groans just under the hatch. I brace the bar tighter, push my full weight down. The wood bows, splinters groan. My heart slams like a drum. It holds. Barely. By nightfall the ladder is thick with bodies. Some stuck, others dangling, arms hooked in steel rungs even in death. Their mass creaks against the tower legs, metal shrieking under strain. The whole structure sways with each gust of wind. I stagger back, hands clutching my ears. Their groans echo up the shaft, chorus of rot. Then I hear it. A voice on the radio, clearer than ever before. Hold until extraction. Repeat. Hold until extraction. I freeze. Extraction. The word blooms like fire in my chest. I grab the radio, shouting into it, pleading for confirmation, location, anything. But the voice loops, same words, same tone. A recording, automated, long abandoned. I drop the set. My laugh bursts out, cracked, hollow. Hope is a knife in the gut. Night deepens. The stars blur above. The infected stay below, some still climbing, others press close at the base. My supplies are gone. My water jug empty. My strength fading. I clutch the rifle, sit against the hatch, body trembling. The scraping never stops. Hands never stop searching the rungs. The tower groans with weight. This is the siege. No shouting, no chaos, just patience. The silence of predators who know the prey cannot run. And somewhere in that silence I understand. They will never leave. Not until I fall. The days bleed together. Time has no edges anymore. I wake, sleep, wake again, and every moment feels the same. The infected still crowd the tower's legs, still scrape at the ladder, still stare up at me like I am a star they cannot touch. Their silence is a weight pressing down from below. My tongue is dry, cracked, my lips split when I try to whisper. Hunger gnaws, but thirst is worse. My head aches, vision swims, sounds blur together. Sometimes I think I hear voices in the static, even laughter. I shake my head hard, remind myself the tower is empty, only me. The radio hisses. It always hisses. But this time, there is something else. A pattern, fragments of words, faint but there. I slam the knob, tuning, searching, praying. A voice bursts through, broken, shredded by static. Extraction, north clearing, dawn. I freeze, staring at the set as if it were a miracle. Extraction. The word coils through me like a spark in dry grass. My heart slams so hard it hurts. I shout into the mic, my voice raw. Who is this? Where are you? Please confirm. Nothing. Just static again. I beg, curse, slam the side of the radio until my knuckles bleed. Still nothing. But the message was there. I heard it. North clearing. Dawn. I press my forehead against the radio, eyes burning. Could it be real? Or just a ghost of an old transmission looping endlessly? My mind claws at both answers. Either way, I cannot ignore it. Below, the infected shift, heads turning in unison. Like they heard it too. Their bodies pressed tighter to the tower's legs, hands reaching higher on the ladder, scraping steel. I whisper to myself, hold, just one more night. That night is the longest of my life. The moon hides behind clouds, the forest swallowed in black. The tower sways in the wind, each creak a scream in my skull. The infected move differently now. Not frantic, methodical. One climbs, falls. Another takes its place. Again and again. Slowly, relentlessly. Their weight makes the tower tremble. Bolts strain, wood groans. I brace the hatch with my whole body, rifle across my lap, knife in hand. Every thump on the hatch rattles my bones. I hear whispers. Not from the radio, but from below. Soft, low, as if the infected murmur among themselves. My skin crawls. They are not supposed to speak. I plug my ears, rock back and forth. The sound remains, threading through the night. When dawn stains the sky gray, I dare to look out. The clearing to the north lies just beyond the tree line, a wide scar in the forest where the old firebreak runs. If rescue is coming, it will be there. But the infected know. I swear they know. They crowd the ladder, thick as ants on sugar. The ground is a writhing carpet of limbs and faces, all tilted up. I grip the railing, my knuckles bone white. My choice is sharp as a blade. Stay and starve. Climb and die among them. Or run for the clearing, and maybe, just maybe, find the sky open with the sound of rotor blades. I press my face into my hands, tears scalding my skin. My body is weak, my leg throbs from an old wound, my throat burns with thirst. But the signal, extraction, north clearing, dawn, it beats in my head like a drum. I gather what little I have left. Rifle slung. Knife strapped. No food. No water. Just the last of my strength and a choice made of desperation. The hatch groans under my weight as I lift the bar. The sound echoes down the shaft, infected shrieking in response, hands clawing higher. I breathe deep. Once. Twice. Then I kick the hatch open, sunlight flooding in, shadows writhing below. The ladder groans. The infected snarl. And I begin to climb down, one rung at a time. The hatch slams against the side of the tower with a metallic clang that echoes into the forest, an alarm bell I can't take back. Below, the infected respond in a frenzy. Their groans swell into a chorus that shakes the air, hands clawing higher on the ladder, bodies scraping against steel. I lower myself onto the first rung, rifle slung across my back, knife clamped between my teeth. My arms tremble from hunger, my palms raw, but I grip hard. I whisper to myself, steady, steady, don't look down. The ladder vibrates beneath me, not from wind, but from them. The infected slam themselves against the structure, clambering onto the lowest rungs. They rise like tidewater, uncoordinated yet endless. My breath rasps. Sweat blinds my eyes. I force myself lower, rung after rung, boots slipping against rust. The tower shakes as though it resents my weight. Halfway down, the first infected lunges up from below. Its arm hooks the rung under mine, fingers bone thin, skin split open to reveal orange veins glowing faintly in the dawn light. Its eyes roll white, its teeth snap. I lash out with my boot, heel crunching into its skull. The body falls, dragging two others down with it. Their screams vanish into the forest floor with a thud that makes the tower shiver. But more are climbing. Always more. I descend faster, legs burning, heart pounding. The rifle bangs against the rungs with every move. My vision blurs, spots of light dancing in the corners. Another infected reaches me, this one dragging itself up with jerks like a broken puppet. Its jaw hangs loose, tongue lolling, but its grip is iron. It lunges for my leg. I swing the knife down, blade punching into its skull. A wet crack. The creature convulses. Lets go, tumbles. The knife slips free, slick with rot. I gag but don't stop. The ground is close now, 20 feet, 15. But the base of the tower is a nightmare. Dozens crowd there, arms lifted, mouths open like baby birds begging. They sway and shove, waiting for me to fall into their arms. Panic claws my throat. My plan was simple, climb down, make a break for the clearing. But the infected below are thick as grass, no gaps, no exits. I cling to the ladder, paralyzed. The stench rises, rot and fungus choking me. My chest heaves. Above, the hatch bangs in the wind. Behind, the sun pushes higher, casting the forest in cruel light. Then I hear it. The radio, still slung at my side, crackles. Extraction, north clearing, dawn. Not a loop this time. Clearer. Sharper. A real voice, alive. Hope stabs through me so bright I nearly sob. If rescue is real, if it waits at the clearing, I cannot hesitate. I tighten my grip, swing out sideways, drop the last rungs. The fall slams my knees into dirt. Pain explodes through me, but I roll, scramble up, knife flashing. The infected swarm, arms grabbing, mouth snapping. I ram the knife into one throat, kick another in the chest. I shove through the wall of bodies, skin tearing, fingers clawing my clothes. My breath is fire, my legs scream. I break free, sprint into the trees. The forest closes around me, branches whipping, roots clawing my boots. Behind, screams rise. They follow. Fast. Relentless. The tower groans as the rest pour from the ladder, spilling into the woods like floodwater. I stumble, catch myself, push harder. The world tilts, my head dizzy with thirst, but I don't stop. My only thought is the clearing, north dawn rescue. Birds burst from trees ahead, startled into the sky. I crash through undergrowth, lungs burning. The infected chase, snapping branches, snarls echoing. Then the trees thin. Light spills through. I burst into the clearing, legs giving out, knees slamming dirt. And there, hovering above the field, is a helicopter. Its blades churn the air, deafening. Soldiers in black armor lean from the sides, rifles glinting in morning sun. A floodlight locks onto me, blinding white. I scream, wave my arms, tears streaming. Here, here, I'm here. The soldiers don't wave back. They raise their rifles, aiming not at the infected pouring from the forest, but at me. The loudspeaker cracks. Hold position. Do not move. Extraction in progress. I freeze, heart hammering. Extraction. The word curdles now, sour in my gut. The infected shriek from the treeline, rushing toward the field. Soldiers open fire, bullets shredding bodies, fungal growths bursting in sprays of orange mist. The air fills with rot and gunpowder. I drop flat, hands over my head. The ground shakes with impact after impact. Then, hands grab me. Soldiers in masks, eyes hidden, drag me up, binding my wrists. I scream, fight, demand answers. They don't respond. Their grips are iron. Behind, infected pile in droves, cut down by relentless gunfire. Ahead, the helicopter looms. The clearing is chaos, bullets, blood, rot, but my ears catch one phrase from a soldier's radio, cold, efficient. Subject secured. Extraction successful. And in that moment, I know rescue was never the plan. The soldiers drag me across the clearing, their boots pounding the dirt in rhythm with the helicopter's blades. My wrists burn where the zip ties cut, my throat raw from screaming, but they don't speak to me, not a word, not a glance. Their faces are hidden behind black masks, eyes veiled in tinted lenses, expressionless as statues. The infected hurl themselves from the treeline, dozens, maybe hundreds. Their shrieks rip through the morning air as gunfire answers, short, precise bursts. Bullets tear them down in heaps, fungal growths exploding into orange mist that drifts like smoke. The air tastes bitter, chemical, foul. I stumble, knees scraping dirt, soldiers yank me back to my feet. My body is weightless with exhaustion, head spinning, but terror drives me forward. I look past them, past the clearing, hoping for some other salvation. Nothing but trees, walls of green trapping us here. The helicopter looms larger, its side door open, dark interior waiting. The sound of its blades vibrates in my chest, steady, merciless. I scream above the noise. Who are you? Where are you taking me? Why? The words rip my throat open, but they vanish beneath the roar of rotors. No one answers. One soldier presses something cold and sharp against my neck. A needle. Panic floods me. I thrash, kick, beg. My voice cracks. I'm not infected. I swear, please, please. The mask above me doesn't twitch. The needle plunges in. Fire spreads through my veins, icy then burning. My legs buckle, vision swimming. The world tilts, the clearing spins, faces blur. I try to scream again, but only a whisper escapes, thin, pitiful. They haul me up into the helicopter, slam me against the metal floor. My head rattles against steel. I see the field below, infected swarming like ants, soldiers cutting them down in lines of gunfire. Then the ground falls away, the trees shrinking, clearing swallowed by distance. The tower, my tower, juts from the forest like a broken tooth. The place that was prison and sanctuary all at once. Now it shrinks to nothing, lost beneath clouds. The needle's poison drags me into shadow, consciousness flickering. I hear voices at last, cold, clinical. Subject secured. Administered control dose. Transfer to facility confirmed. Facility. The word slices through me. Rescue was never rescue. Extraction was never salvation. I am cargo, specimen, meat for their science. The helicopter shakes, banking left. My body slides across the floor, zip ties cutting deeper. I slam my shoulder against a crate. The lid shifts, loosens. My blurred eyes catch a glimpse inside. Bottles. Labels marked with hazard symbols. Samples. Infection. They aren't just fighting the outbreak. They're farming it. The helicopter descends. Through the haze, I see the landing zone. Concrete walls, spotlights, towers topped with guns. A fortress buried in the forest. Behind the walls, buildings, hangars, smokestacks coughing black plumes into the sky. A facility, alive with industry, yet sterile, soulless. My stomach heaves. I thrash weakly, kicking against the floor. The soldiers press me down with gloved hands, silent, efficient. The helicopter lands with a jolt. Hands drag me into harsh light. My legs fold. I can't stand, but they yank me forward anyway. The air smells of disinfectant, burning metal, faint rot. Gates grind open. The compound swallows me whole. Inside, corridors of concrete stretch like veins. Lights buzz cold and white. The soldiers march me down hall after hall. Behind glass walls, I see them. Cages. Rows of them. People inside, eyes hollow, skin blotched with fungal growths. Some strapped to tables, tubes running into their veins, masks over their mouths. Some scream silently, pounding at glass. Others just stare, blank, broken. I stumble, gag, nearly collapse. One soldier jerks me upright, shoves me forward. We pass another row of rooms. Inside, scientists in lab coats scribble notes, adjust machines, monitor glowing screens. They don't look at the people, the subjects. They look through them as if they're samples on slides. One scientist glances up as I pass. For a moment, our eyes meet. Hers are tired, cold, but there's something else. Pity, or maybe contempt. She looks away. They shove me into a chamber, steel walls, single chair bolted to the floor. Restraints hang loose, waiting. A table nearby holds syringes, scalpels, vials. The stench of bleach clings to everything. I scream. I fight. I throw myself against the soldiers. My voice cracks. I'm human. I'm not sick. I'm not one of them. My words bounce off the walls, hollow, ignored. They slam me into the chair. Straps bite my wrists, ankles, chest. I thrash until my skin burns, but the bonds hold. The radio crackles from one soldier's belt. The voice is calm, mechanical. Subject 47 secured. Begin trial at 0900. I scream until my throat tears. The soldiers leave. The door seals. I am alone with the hum of the lights, the stench of chemicals, the weight of straps holding me down. Alone with the truth. Rescue was never meant for me. Rescue was never meant for anyone. We are specimens. All of us. I stare at the ceiling, vision blurring, tears cutting tracks through grime on my face. Survive. Martin's voice echoes from memory. Ellie's scream echoes from the warehouse. Emma's hand reaching across the wheat field. Survive. But here in this chair, under these lights, I finally understand. Survival was never the goal. Not theirs. Not anymore. The straps dig in deeper as I close my eyes. Heartbeat thunder in my ears. No way out. Only the last descent. Into silence.